It was 1987. We had just graduated from college. We had no prospects. I was a waiter, Sean was a caddy, and Kurt delivered pizzas. We got a van for $300 and also bought a tent and a video camera. In September, we hit the road with no plan whatsoever. We were like a rock band with no gigs, no groupies, and no ganj. Welcome to the Trip Tapes.
We're on the road to nowhere. Come on inside. Take a night ride to nowhere. We'll take that ride.
Fisherman's Bay.
Take me back down a cool water flow, y'all. Let me remember things I don't know. Stopping at the lower Catfish back, walking along the railroad at night. Barefoot girls dancing in the moonlight. I can hear the bullfrog calling me home. Wanna hit my rope, still hanging to the tree. Love to kick my feet way down the shallow water. Shoot my dragonfly, kiss back to mother. Give up the fast off, give it across Green River. Love the coldest can, but spend my days on black hole riders and cold.
One thing in looking back that I do find so funny is we all wanted to be outdoorsmen and we wanted to be adventurers, but we had such little skills in those areas that it usually turned out to be a disaster.
We seemed to be drawn to water. First or second night of the trip, we camped out by a pond. On one of the first nights of the trip, we went to Madison, Wisconsin, which has 2 lakes. We drove up to the Boundary Waters or near them, down Maine by Acadia, down the seaboard, on the Gulf. We were always around water.
A lot of days, I can really say a lot. The highlight of the day were throwing boulders into the water down below.
We were not very good sailors at all, or rowers, or rafters, or canoers.
We kept trying to go out and commune with nature and engage, and inevitably we'd come out wet, having been tipped over.
And the thing that's clear, especially in retrospect, is that we were not very good at any of it. We all could throw a football, but that didn't do you much good when you're in a raft.
In literature and films, you're all aware of men and women going out and battling with nature and finding ways to tame it or to use it for the greater good. On that trip, I would say nature kicked our ass nearly every single time.
God, guns, and guts made America. Let's keep all 3. Right on.
Grabbed you, might well raft.
Has anyone ever been grabbed by a gator?
Nope. We had never had a case anybody ever bitten by a snake or attacked by a gator. But the gators eat anything made out of meat.
Oh, they sleep most of the time, don't they?
No.
We're sure to see him one, aren't we?
Yeah.
Heard that before. Here we are in Okefenokee Swamp.
Man.
Morons, is what I'd have to say. Absolute morons. They get the boat right out in the little water, and then they get in it like it's all of a sudden going to take off.
I'm not putting my shoe in the water.
I got the camera. How am I supposed to be pushing? Here, look.
Now, see, I start this.
Canoe and a paddle. Here in the Okefenokee Swamp or something. Straight down the swamp. Haven't seen a crocodile yet. we're all pretty terrified of tipping over, losing our wonderful camera. But here it is. There's where we're going to. That's not a crocodile right there. It looks like one. That is an alligator or a crocodile.
You see it?
Yeah. Let me get.
Oh, he went under.
Went under.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit. He's gone under. We are terrified. You can barely got a hold of this camera, this $800 camera over this water. Going down in the green bag.
Oh, let's see. Come on, man. No, let's. Huh?
How was it?
Wet.
My butt. How long were we gone?
Get a picture of these knees.
What happened, P? Oh my God, they're shaking. Can you see that on camera?
I was like this.
What was worse,
the whole
this or the
time.
whitewater
I was like this
canoeing?
the whole time. Could you imagine doing this for 3 hours like this? Look at this position right here.
My butt is killing me. Now we gotta get back in that psycho van.
So it was late November, it was near Thanksgiving, and we were down in North Carolina. And for some reason, we got in our head we had to go whitewater rafting. We found this place on the Nantahala River, and we were the only ones out there. We convinced this tour guide to let us go out. He had great concerns when he asked us about our experience, and it was a pretty rugged river.
I don't know why we wanted to go whitewater rafting, especially at the time of year. It was probably the coldest winter the South has had in years. When we got there, I mean, we looked at it as like this big clown operation.
Didn't pay any attention to his safety talk. He gave us a whole tour and told us what was going to be coming on the river. We had no questions. We were just like, get us to the river. We certainly know what we're doing. Of course, we get out there, and within about 4.5 minutes, we were caught up on shore, and I just remember this huge limb. It's like a claw machine. Just came down, lifted Sean right out of the raft, dropped him in the freezing cold water. And it took us a long time to get him back in the raft. Kurt and I were trying to drag him back in. And we finally got over to shore with him in the raft. And it was really the first time on the trip that I was frightened. I mean, I had no idea if he had hypothermia, if he could get down the river. There was nowhere to go for help. We had no way to get anywhere.
We were supposed to go to the right, and we didn't paddle hard enough, and we went directly to the left. The current caught us, drove us against this, against the bank where there was this thicket of trees. The raft had gotten turned around, and I was on the back, and I remember these trees were like pushing on my back, and my thought, I really remember this vividly, was I don't want to duck and let these branches snap and hit Kevin and Kurt, you know, like the Three Stooges, holding it with my back, and then suddenly the force of the tree against the current just sort of lifted me out of the boat and dropped me right into the water. And we were not 30 seconds into like a 3-hour rafting trip.
We really realized at that point we were way over our heads.
Way down into the trip, we got into some heavy white water, and the raft went up like this and kind of bowed like this. All three of us went like flying out into the water, and were of course all freezing, and I didn't feel quite so bad and stupid then. There was a takeout point, and we were supposed to paddle to the, you know, hard to the right to make sure we got there, and the current was pretty strong. We of course missed that thing, and there was a big waterfall that we would have gone over if we weren't able to get to the next takeout point.
So I think the three of us realized that was the one thing we couldn't mess around with, and of course as we approached it, the river pulled us and we had no ability to get over there. We sailed right past the takeout point.
I think we realized just how dangerous it would have been if we went over the waterfall that was just after the very last takeout point.
I got troubles, love, but not today. 'Cause they're gonna wash away. They're gonna wash away. My house and love, but not today. 'Cause they're gonna wash away. They're gonna wash away.
So how cold do you think it was last night? Sean, how'd you sleep?
We'll find out tonight. I was shaking. So we're gonna go whitewater rafting. That's what's up. Yep.
Campsite 24, Brookside Camping. Oh my God. We're going whitewater rafting. What's the temperature?
Let's get the safety talk
About
on
10
film.
degrees. What'd they say about safety?
No, I was gonna give it to him, Joe.
Oh, okay. Pete, get that hat on, man. Illinois, a 6'1" grad student, 220 pounds, back rower, Kurt Peterman. Chagrin Falls, Ohio, a 6'2", over 40 pounds overweight, 205 pounds, Kevin. And rounding off the starting lineup, he's 6 foot. He's 153 without pads. He's from Evanston, Illinois. He's Sean Tiger Cat Callahan. Woo, woo, yeah. Woo. Get those feet moving, boys. All right.
And it was named by the Cherokee Indians. It means River of the Noonday Sun. You're up here at Brookside Campgrounds, about a mile from the put-in. I'm going to take you down and put you on a little put-in area down here, a mile down the river. When you guys get on the river, you're going to find out it's a series of fast water and slow water. Fast water, slow water. Fast water, slow water, all the way downstream. Wherever there's fast water, there's white water. And creating the white water are obstacles like rocks or trees. Now the idea is to go around the obstacles, not over them. If you go over the obstacle, there's a good chance the boat may stop and you may not. Once you get on the river today, you're going to find it's moving pretty good, so it's going to catch you in the current and take you to the left downstream. Through a whole bunch of rapids on your way down. Rocking under 480. That's a two-person cable bridge, famous Nantahala Falls. The falls itself is not a traditional waterfall that you would think of. It's more like a water slide. Once you get through the falls area, you'll see a large brown building on the right-hand side of the river. If for some reason you pass our takeout, you're on the wrong side of the river, or you bypass it altogether, you'll come to another metal bridge that has a big sign on it that says Hazardous Falls Ahead. If you get that far and go under that bridge, don't panic and jump out of your boat. You all have any questions about the river?
Okay, let's go then. Give a narration.
Paddle hard, or you're not going to make it. Paddle hard. Hazardous falls ahead. Don't panic. Hazardous falls ahead. Don't panic. Hazardous falls ahead. Don't panic.
Come on, I'm with you.
There is a legend that on the Nantahala River on cold full moon nights in November. If you listen really carefully, you can hear the cries of 3 clueless travelers stuck and abandoned out at the falls area, being drowned out by a broken down van. I have no idea if that story is true or not.